Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Chris. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you've been here before, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about a topic that I think will really help a lot of people, especially as jobs are beginning to open up and people are beginning to apply for jobs. We're going to talk about how to land your interview process from 3 really simple tips to separate yourself from everybody else. I'm also going to give you guys a little pro tip at the end. However, before we get into it, just do me a small favor. All I ask is that you smash that like button. Help everybody else on YouTube understand that we can help them too. The whole point is to help a community of people, help each other. Smash the like button. It gets YouTube to push the video out to more people who might be looking to land their interview too. And if you really like the content, hit subscribe. I would love to have you guys in the community, my tribe, and help you guys grow as humans, business owners, and entrepreneurs. All right, let's get into it. Okay, guys, welcome back to the show. Let's talk about how to land your interview process. This is how to land your interview process from the employer's perspective, right? So I want to give you all the tips on hundreds of interviews that I've conducted over the years, including current interviews for roles within my companies. So I want to teach you 3 really basic fundamental things that you were not taught in school. You were not taught this in school, most likely. And these are things that are going to separate you from everybody else that shows up who's well rehearsed with their responses and be able to separate yourself from the pack. So for instance, if let's say 100 people are applying for the same job, you will separate yourself with your poise, with your respect, with your character, and with your knowledge. All right? The first fundamental thing that the majority of people do not know is how to land your interview prior to even getting the damn interview. And it's not your resume that you send in. It's not the questions you answer if there are questions on Indeed or wherever you're applying. It's none of that. Let me tell you where it is, okay? And this is something that you might not know, nor are people talking about. This is like the secret sauce of why you're not getting called for the interview. And if you do get called for the interview, this may be the reason why, okay? Listen to me. Your paper resume that you have, you might as well look at that thing like a fossil. You might as well just throw it in the trash. It's a part of the interviewing process. However, it's really not what we're looking at. I'm just looking at it very quickly and then moving on. It shouldn't be more than 1 page. In addition to that, where employers are looking at you is on your social medias, okay? If you're applying to jobs and you do not have your social medias public or you're hidden, okay, that is a monstrous red flag to the employers, and that's probably why you are not getting calls or the amount of calls that you're looking for. If you for a moment think that employers or recruiting managers or staffing firms, whoever, aren't looking at your social medias before they call you, you're wrong, okay? Because they are. They're looking at it. And then if you are private and you are hidden, you're not going to get the response that you're looking for. Now, if you in this very moment are like, shit, that's me, you need to make your social medias public. Listen, Instagram could be public or not public. However, if you're hidden completely, it's a red flag. If you're at least foundable, I would recommend you're public. And on the grids of your social media, like Twitter, like Instagram, like LinkedIn, like Facebook, all right, make sure you're not doing stupid shit like smoking a joint, all right? I know it's legal in a lot of places. However, don't put that out there that the first thing that people see when they go to research you is you shotgunning a beer and smoking a blunt on a Friday night. All right, your employer or potential employer doesn't want to see that unless you're applying for, like, I don't know, Bud Light and fucking weed dispensaries. But outside of that, don't be doing keg stands, don't be doing fuckboy shit, don't be doing horse shit with your ass out, don't be doing stupid ass shit on your social media if it's public. All I'm saying is just don't post it while you're fucking applying to jobs, okay? If you want to post it somewhere where it's going to disappear, like Snapchat or maybe the Instagram story to a degree. Just understand what I'm saying. I'm not saying don't be authentic. And if that's what you do, like, cool, I'm completely with you. Like, I like to have fun too. However, be cognizant of the fact that your social media is being looked at. You're being interviewed by your social media prior to the actual interview call. Employers, if they see you doing stupid shit on your social media, they're gonna think that you're not cut out for the job, to say the least, and you're not going to get the calls, or you're not going to get the quality of job that you deserve, okay? So the first thing that you need to do is turn your social medias public and take down or don't post anything ridiculous, okay? At least for the time being, okay? At least for the time being, at least while you're applying. That is the first pillar to landing an interview, let alone landing the interview, okay? So now let's change the context a little bit. Let's say you're applying to the job, okay, and your socials are public, you don't have a bunch of silly stuff on there, and you love photography, you love fitness, and you love food, and your grid looks like fitness, photography, and food. The potential employer is like, oh, cool, like, I love fitness too, or oh, I really enjoy food. Who doesn't? This guy's pretty cool, or this chick's pretty cool. They post about food all the time. They're a foodie. Well, let's go get some food. Your social medias are your personal brand, regardless of you being in business or not. And it's almost like your calling card or your business card. So just be very cognizant of what you're posting, where you're posting, and how you're posting, and definitely make sure that you are posting well, that you are posting properly, especially while applying to jobs. You could take this information to the bank. Okay, so for the second pillar on how to land your interview, let's say that now you have the interview lined up, okay? I'm not going to talk about the basic things that you're taught in school or how to land an interview, but I'm going to talk about the intricate things that are probably not taught, like this, okay? If you're being called, let's just say you're applying to jobs, and you're being called to be recruited to be lined up for an interview, okay? Or you're in the interview process. There is one major thing here that you really need to take into consideration, okay? If you've ever been told you're combative, or you're bitchy, or you're an asshole, or you're just tough to get along with, I'm talking to you specifically, all right? Listen, if that's who you are, cool, I'm all about it. I'm just saying, if you're interviewing or getting lined up for an interview, don't be anything but respectful to the person that is calling you or you're interviewing with, all right? I'm going to give you a story about someone who my recruiting manager called to line up an interview process. The guy answered the phone he applied for the job. He answered the phone super cocky, not humble, not respectful, and honestly just came across as undesirable. Had a lot of experience, had more experience than anybody that was being interviewed. And he came off as condescending, rude, cocky, and he wasn't just coming off, like, that's how he was, okay? I listened to the conversation. And what ended up happening was he weeded himself right out of even landing an interview because of the way that he acted. When we offered him to potentially line up an interview, his response was so condescending, so rude, and so cocky that we immediately took away the ability to give him the interview because of the way that he acted, because the way that he acted would never align with our companies or how we act, being very humble, happy, easygoing people that help other humans. Now, if the job that you're applying for would take that type of personality, which would be very small amounts of jobs that you're applying for, be very niche industries, then taking that approach is fine. However, the majority of you, just be respectful when people call you for an interview process. And when you're actually being interviewed, being respectful to the person that is interviewing you is really going to help you get noticed, because anybody who's not respectful, they're really just going to weed themselves out really quickly. And I assure you guys, really take a look in the mirror and understand if you're combative or you're bitchy or you're an asshole or you get into fights a lot, because that is going to be exuded while you're being interviewed or called for the interview. So I know this really sounds simple. However, it's a really simple pillar to land your interview. Just be respectful. Don't be anything but respectful, and I guarantee you, you're going to separate yourself from everybody else. All right, here's the third pillar to when it comes to landing an interview. This is specifically while you're in the interview process, guys. I want you guys to understand this part because this is something that I never see utilized outside of maybe once or twice in my entire recruiting career of hundreds of people. And the people that did it are still with the organization. And the people that I know have used this tactic are still with their organization, or maybe they left on their own behalf, okay? This is what's gonna separate you from everybody else, all right? You really need to understand the company that you're applying for. Once you get to the interview process, you need to do your due diligence, meaning, let's say you apply to Yale Hospital, okay? Understanding the fundamentals of who Yale is, the hospital, and you need to find out who's interviewing you, okay? That's the catch. Not only understand the company, but understand the person that's interviewing you. Do your due diligence, figure it out. Send an email before the interview. Ask the person when they call you on the phone, or ask the person on the email that's asking to set up an interview who will be doing the interview process, so you can go on LinkedIn, you can go on Facebook, go on Instagram, find out who they are, find out what they like, so on and so forth, and you can make a personal connection with them. Like, I see you love working out. I also love working out. How long have you been doing it? And then when you turn the script around and start asking questions to the person interviewing you and letting them know that you know about the company, all right, you're going to stand out from everybody else in the interview process. There's no two other ways around it. That will get you noticed for sure, 100% of the time, while applying the second principle of being respectful. You're probably going to land at least another interview or the job. Now, since we've gone over the three pillars of how to land your interview, right? How to smash your interview process, from having public socials, not posting like a dingling on public socials, all right? Audit your social media people, turn them public. Being respectful while you're taking the interview or the call to set up the interview, and having questions for the company and the person interviewing you. I'm going to give you a pro tip, okay? Here's a pro tip that will really put the nail in the coffin to separating yourself from everybody else that's applying for the job, because you have to understand that this is a sales process. You are selling yourself, just like a first date. You're selling yourself, whether you want to see it as sales or not. It is. You're marketing yourself to this company. This is a sales. If you go in and do your due diligence, just like we just talked about, and then come up with an action plan of what you personally can do to better that company or help that company, you're going to sell yourself beyond everybody else, because the amount of people that know that one tip are very, very far and few between. Very far and few between. And even if you don't really know what you can do to help the company because you're really unsure after your research, find your strong point and just sell it. About you being a fantastic leader for humans and people, and you have so much experience and you can add value to the leadership of the company moving forward to accomplish the goal and the vision. It's really that simple. That's the pro tip. All right, guys, listen, thank you for listening to my show. Thank you for being here. I want you guys to know that it has been a couple of weeks since we have put out a show. I have been pretty regular over the past few months, putting out shows once a week, sometimes twice a week. I do have to apologize. I do formally apologize for not putting out a show. I feel obligated to do it. I really do, because I know that I'm helping you guys, at least one or two of you. And it doesn't matter if it's one or two or 1,000 or 100,000 or 1,000,000. I know one day that I will get to that million mark. At this point, we are small, but I know that there's some of you out there getting value from this, and I appreciate you guys. And I want you guys to understand that I did miss a couple of weeks, and I do apologize for it. I appreciate all your support. I appreciate all your likes. I appreciate all your subscribes and subscriptions. And if you haven't hit that like button, please smash the like button. Please get this out for other people on YouTube to see it by hitting that like button so they can land their interviews too, and we can all win together. I love you guys. I hope you're doing well, and I'll catch you next week. Don't forget to work fucking harder.